back to the main room, and we are begging the name of INDC 2026 third winner. I hope everyone is ready to hear the feedback and to hear the announcement of the winner. But first of all, you guys gave the hard time for the adjudicators, which is a very good thing because that is what we are looking for today's debate session, because you are already in this position to fighting for the third place. So first of all, before I handed it to the adjudicators, I would like to say congratulations to each speakers. I hope everyone is proud of themselves because you really gave the hard time for the adjudicators. Okay. Now I would like to invite Miss Dena to give feedback for today's debate session.
Thank you, Shasha. Good afternoon, everyone. It was an interesting debate because I know it kind of challenging the status quo about whether personal attractiveness equal to physical appearance or personal uh, demeanors. I mean, how we how we bring ourselves professionalisms. And this is interesting. Actually, both affirmative and negative houses done really well. Um, this is quite. I got some new perspectives from both negative and affirmative. Especially, thank you for bringing many research and data. It was quite interesting. But however, I was looking forward. You explain what is personal attractiveness? Is it the size of um or your height or your weight or whether you have flat nose versus pointed nose or my skin, dark skin versus or complexions. Is it that, or also, as negative house said, it's about how dressed well or well groomed. Yeah. Well, negative side of the house explain about that, and I'm actually both team actually quite convincing. However, just one team slightly more convincing. For just for kind of advice for next match, for next year's match, or maybe when we have another INDC match. Please, when you rebut someone, uh, you mention clearly which argument that you are going to rebut, um, and you rebut by giving them another arguments and another evidences, not just assumptions and not just opinion. And I also would like you to be more concise in giving your arguments. It means that we really looking forward because in a real Australian parliamentary debate, you are supposed to talk for 7 minutes. However, we customize for IND only for 3 minutes. And during those 3 minutes, so we expect you to deliver your arguments very concisely and very straight to the point, and also giving clear evidences. And I would like to remind again that this is all proposal debate. So you are supposed to give the mechanisms of how to do this proposal. So, for example, if affirmative side of the house say that you are going to eliminate those recruitment process in penampilan menarik in all recruitment process, does it mean that in just an advertisement, or you're just going to eliminate for qualifications for any all of your recruitment processes? which was negated really well by the negative house, because during the recruitment process um, we can't eliminate those face to face. So because we are all visual, all of us, we tend to be more attracted to someone who is well groomed, well communicated, really well, and bring themselves professionally and confident. Um, so yeah, I was expecting those actually, but it would be really hard for negative house to challenge if how the mechanism, and also for the negative house, you also supposed to bring uh, your counter mechanisms, your counter proposals. For example, if you say that, well, it's not impossible to do that. It is possible only in papers saying that penampilan menarik to be eliminated, but actually it's just for in papers only, because like it or not, we are all the recruiters are human, and sometimes they're human being, like the law of attractiveness. It always happens. But anyway, I would like to say congratulations. I think I love the first speaker of negative house. Thank you, and the first speaker of the affirmative house. Both of you are my favorite two speakers. I can't choose between both of you because you have done really well, really good job. Hope to see you again in the next INDC. Please, 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 I would please, I would love to see you again, and I hope to be in the grand final next year. Thank you, Shasha.
Thank you so much, Miss Dina. And next, we are going to hear the feedback from Mr. Gali.
Yes, thank you, Sasha. First, I'd like to congratulate both of you guys because, yeah, I see both of the teams previous the session, and personally, I see you guys growing. Uh, it means that, yeah, you listening the feedback from the educators from the last session. I see you are more calm and you are more pointing and you are more listening. That's the most important when you are doing the debate is the first skill you have is to listening before you attacking. That's what I see personally. Uh, see today debate is different with the previous debate. I see both of the teams, both the affirmative and the negative house. From the last session, maybe you get the comment from the educators that you read your own script, and right now we see that at least you listening to your opponents and then you deliver your counter attack. Okay, I'll make a comment about the affirmative house. The first speaker, I think you are doing really good start when you defining the clear definition and you make the clear boundaries and you make it small and focusing on the BPJS context. So the response from the negative house, it should be based on the BPJS kesehatan context. The negative house, when you are using the example from the other BPJS kesehatan, you should have the bridging to the BPJS kesehatan context. That's why when the affirmative house mentioning repeatedly about the MSDM berbasis kompetensi, the negative house should, yeah, you should be an answer with the same context using the competency base. So we're gonna have the counter attack with the equal ball. Yeah, but the interesting part is the second speaker from the negative house. You are mentioning the pedoman pelayanan peserta. That the pedoman pelayanan peserta philosophy is based on the customer expectation. That the customer expectation expected us to be well groomed. It represents the organization, uh, the the physical look of the frontliner is dinilai in the pedoman pelayanan peserta, which is not responded enough by the affirmative house. The affirmative house, you in my opinion, you only focus on the MSDM data, but you forget to respond that the negative house already deliver the context of pedoman pelayanan peserta, that we serve the public, and how good we are serving the public is we measure by the uh, customer satisfaction. And how we achieve the customer satisfaction is we want to make sure that our frontliners is well physically appearance, at least from the checklist plan of SETA, they have those berpenampilan menarik. So it should be good debate when you are delivering the MSDM berbasis kompetensi, but in the other hand, pelayanan peserta requires you to have those kind of good looking in context service to the customer. And then the conclusion part, it's quite interesting that both of the teams, at least you listening to your opponents, you rewrapping your opponent's response, and then you deliver your point to convincing us we are the best. Both of the team, I think you are using the same script, like at the end of your conclusion part, you want to make sure again that we are the winner. That's the good point. I really appreciate it when you are listening each other before you are responding to your opponents. From this session, my favorite speaker is the third speaker of the affirmative house. Again, congratulations. Again, I really enjoy someone debating with the fire on, like the third speaker of the affirmative house. Yeah, show us previous minutes ago the clear pronunciation, the expression, the emotion that show that how confident you are uh, defending your argument. That's all from me. Thank you, Sasha.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gali. Yay. Okay, now the most nerve-wracking moment will begin. It's time for Mr. Arisandi to give his feedback and to announce the winner of today's session and also the third place of INDC 2026. To you, Mr. Sandi.
Okay, thank you, Sasa. First of all, of course, we would like to congratulate both teams because this is a very crucial moment because both of teams has proved that they has a level to compete in the apa namanya semifinals maybe. This is a very tough decision because actually the topics very interesting. The debate is not about banning grooming standards entirely, but it's about banning subjective and fake appearance criteria that have no job relevance, or sometimes it could lead to discriminations. Actually, from the first impression, the affirmative team has a very strong position because they already put a definition that attractive appearance has no fixed definitions. However, the problem is the affirmative could not lead the topics into a more interesting debate. How we do not put so much attention about banning the dress codes or hygiene standard. The affirmative actually has many chance to show that the subjective criteria about the attractiveness is not about banning the dress code or how we appear to become more attractive in front of the crowd. Because if we are simply put the idea of only banning dress codes of or how we appearance in front of public, of course, the negative team will put that we are only talking about sloppy uniforms issues. But the interesting is the negative teams try to concede that abuse of term sometimes happens, but uh, the solution is not really specifically elaborated in the negative team. Maybe if you are had a chance to move to the next round, maybe you should ready with the counter mechanism. Counter mechanism is if your opponent is very strong in regulation or rebuttal, you have to prepare with counter mechanism. You have to frame your case and making a comparative conclusion, comparative advantage between the cons and the do's and the don'ts, but not deny the problem. About the issue, it is very interesting because the negative team try to drive that almost no objective criteria to put someone in one position. You have told us that sometimes it is hidden in the criteria. Criteria like good communication skills, leadership potential, or has a sparkling aura. It is sometimes hidden in many criteria. And of course, you are also talking about how when we are serving the public, we are serving the citizens. We are serving how citizens would like to see the pace of our institution by firstly maybe by showing our dress code, by showing our grooming skill, and that is reflected in the presentation of physical representation of our staff. Though so removing all appearance standard actually could not be portrayed as lowering professional standard, which is true because sometimes reputation comes from the physical appearance. I would like to highlight also because the affirmative talk about the knowledge, knowledge, our knowledge. Sorry, our knowledge book, yeah, about how we put someone as a competence people. Knowledge, skill, attitude. Actually, knowledge, skill, attitude, it is very hidden. Sometimes we have to put it a more physical way. Sometimes knowledge represent when people using glasses, using blazers, we can see, oh, these people looks very knowledgeable, but we cannot see it until we interact with him. Oh, uh, knowledge, skill, and attitude. Oh, these people looks very skillful. Oh, or his attitude is very good because maybe he is using hijab. But we cannot know until we interact with the person itself. We cannot detect whether he or she is really has a good attitude. So beyond this debate, which is very interesting, I hereby uh, make a decision. Sorry, not decision actually. The all the adjudicated decision that the negative team is slightly better than the affirmative. So the champion of this round is the negative team. But for the beginners, I don't know why the team's name is the beginners, because this is only the beginning, not the end. So I suppose maybe in the next year you will be a very good materials for competing in the finals. Maybe that's all from me. Thank you very much. best of luck for both of teams.
Okay, thank you so much to Paris Sandy, and thank you so much to all of our adjudicators. So once again, hereby I announce that the winner for today's match and the